Writing a business. Business is an occupation, a profession, a trade, a commercial enterprise, a commercial pursuit or employment. Business is an interest regularly pursued for pecuniary gain or to secure a livelihood. It shall provide goods or services that satisfies the customers, clients, customers, passengers, depositors, patrons, or buyers. Let us define what is a letter. Letter refers to message in writing, which may be in any language or in code, contained in a sealed or unsealed envelope or not in an envelope at all, of such physical dimensions and weights allowed by the corporation or the government, and intended for delivery to a person or entity displayed legibly on one of its faces. Republic Act 73. What are the characteristics of effective letters? There are six. First is correctness. Second, conciseness. Third, completeness. Fourth, courtesy. Five, visual appeal. And six, tonal appeal. Eliminating weaknesses in writing. Weak, wealthy business person. Better, you would write tycoon. Business prosperity. You should write it as boom. Carrying a child, pregnant, long years, 1 year old boy. About genderism. You have to be careful in writing a letter not to be biased, and you should be neutral. Writing requires us to refrain from using terms that discriminate or show biases in the treatment of males and females. Neutral terms should be used to manifest fairness and equality among people. Bias if a woman drives. Fair if a person drives. Businessman, business person. Man-made, artificial, synthetic, manufactured. Manpower, human power, workforce. Chairman, chairperson. Salesman, salesperson or sales clerk. Foreman, construction. About worthy lines. Worthy, consensus of opinion. Straightforward. You should write consensus. At this point in time, you should write at this time or now. Please kindly do this. Kindly do this or please do this. Attach herewith, attach is or herewith is. Pleasant good morning, pleasant morning or good morning. Kind consideration, consideration or kindness. During the preceding year, last year, the action was predicated. The action was biased on the belief, on the assumption that, each and everyone, each one, or everyone. At the present time, now, in view of the fact that, since, until such time, when, with reference to, about as a result of, for the month of December, for December, 100% pure coffee, 100 coffee or pure coffee, so that he could motivate employees. Motivate employees. As per your letter, in your letter, the undersigned, I, kindly advise us. Please let us know. Kindly inform us. Attach, please find. Enclosed is, attach is. It has come to my attention. I have learned. Is that exactly what you mean? Is that really the word you want? General and specific. So in writing a letter, you should be specific. Traveled in another country. Specific. Traveled in Japan. 1 kilo of rice. 1 kilogram of rice. Visits the province. Visits Quirino province. My parent called me. My mother called me. My father called me. Abstract and concrete. So you have to write concrete or words in writing a letter. Long and winding road. 50 kilometers winding road. Waited for many hours. Waited for 11 hours. 4 long years. 4 years. Sentence upgrading strategy. This technique helps us to standardize or transform statements using the frequently used verbs like am, is, are, was, and were, to be substituted with vivid verbs or phrases to avoid monotony. Ordinary. My customer was sick. Upgraded. My customer got sick. My customer felt sick. She is beautiful. She looks beautiful. She exudes beauty. There are members of the business club. Belong to the business club. I am comfortable here. I feel comfortable here. About voice of the verb. Voice refers to the function of the verb indicating whether the subject acts as the performer of the action or the one acted upon. The verb is in the active voice if the subject is the doer of the action. It is in the passive voice if the subject is the one acted upon in the sentence. As a general rule, active voice is preferred in communication, but sometimes passive voice is appropriate in some instances like this. To emphasize the receiver of the action more than the doer, prefer passive. The 13-month pay is now being computed. Avoid. Active. The treasurer is now computing the bonus for this year. To avoid tone of accusation. Prefer passive. Some documents were taken from my file. Avoid. Active. You took some documents from a desk. Prefer passive. The vendor was killed at the sidewalk. Avoid, which is the active. Peter killed the vendor this morning at the sidewalk. To conceal names or identities. Prefer passive. The program was assessed poorly. Avoid active. The participants from private corporations assessed the program as poor. About writing numbers in documents, you have to be careful and be vigilant. The common problem in expressing quantities is whether to write in figures or to spell them out in words. I have noticed this one in your thesis. A. Figures are essential information that needs emphasis. B. Figures are easy for readers to visualize if they need to reason for critical points. C. Figures provide economic use of time and space. Example: 2000 can be encoded faster and in less space than 2000. 9.2. A sentence shall never start with number. Remember, the correct one should be 60 customers paid in cash. Wrong. Ang isuwat nimo ang 60 nga word nga digit customers. In case that a single digit is accompanied by two or more digit numbers in the same sentence, the single digit number shall also be written in figure. Example: we need to purchase 6 printers for our office. We will acquire 16 printers and 2 scanners for our office. Figures shall also be used when expressing dates, sum of money, mixed numbers, decimals, distance, dimensions, cubic capacity, percentage, weights, temperatures, and page numbers. Use ordinals such as when the number precedes the month. Example, 1st of July, 1st of May, 3rd of April, 2nd of January. But in case of inductive writing of complete date, it may be like this. 25th, kindly, you can see it in the PowerPoint. Use ciphers when writing an even money figure that is accompanied with a peso figure that includes peso with centavos. Example, we received 60 pesos yesterday. He contributed 125.50 and pesos and 10 pesos yesterday. So you have to put the figure. Spell out this one digit number in a statement. Remember, numbers that represent time when a clock of the clock is used. Example, I will deliver the merchandise at 9 o'clock. She calls me at 9:20 p.m. Names of places from 1 to 12. Example, 2nd Avenue, 11th Avenue, 12th. The first number when two numbers are placed together in the same sentence. Example, we need 10 peso stamps. I have 10 50 peso bills. She purchased 50 2-liter water. Numbers in documents shall be enclosed in parentheses following the spelled out quantity for the sum of 300 pesos. Open and close parentheses. On dividing words and letter descriptions. In including through the computer, dividing words or syllabication is now inevitable. A computer command can evenly spread words in each line of statement. This technique provides an attractive formatting style in modern writing. In writing descriptions introduced by letters, the letter description is capitalized and separated by a hyphen from the word it modifies. Example, T-shirt, U-shirt, T-square, V-neck. Confusing use of punctuations. Punctuation mark refers to any of a group of conventional marks as the period, comma, question mark, and others that are used to clarify meanings by transferring to writing center certain phenomena of speech not shown by the alphabet as juncture, pauses, speech. Parts of a letter. So since you will be applying to to different companies, you should take note what are the parts of a letter. The heading, a part that contains the name of the institution represented by the writer. The corporate name and business address appear on this part. You have to be very careful in writing your application letter. You should not put any corporate name because that is a personal letter. That's your letter. You don't have any company. So walay logo sa inyong application letter. Unless if you are already working in a certain company, of course, you will write the logo. Like here, we are using the logo of Bohol Island State University Kandihay Campus whenever or every time we will send a letter to our department heads since we are under certain institution. But when you are writing an application letter, you should be careful. Should not put any corporate name. The date. It specifies the day when the letter was written. Remember, the date should be when the letter was written. Many times, I was asked by my colleagues on what date should be written. You have to remember, kung kanusa mo nagsuwat sa letter, mao na siya ang date. And you have to be careful in putting the format or the date should follow the American style not the British style. Inside address. This usually contains the name, position, business name, and business address of the addressee. So, many times, lagi ko mabantayan, especially sa inyong thesis, nga magbutang og doktor, magbutang pag yun og PhD. So kung magbutang mo og doktor, wala na PhD ibutang. Kung prefer mo PhD ibutang, hindi na magbutang og doctor. Redundant na kaayo. So here, since she is using doctor, so there's no need to write PhD here. So Dr. Juan M. Santos. You have to take note that you have to bold and capitalize the letter and make it sure that the names or the spelling of the names of the addressee is correct. Okay, it's an insult if it's wrong spelling. Napoy uban sa inyong thesis, gibutang Proceso M. Castile, PhD. Dili PhD, EDD. So you have to be careful. Next, inside address. Not followed by a period, miss. Miss, unable to distinguish. Kung dili ka sure kung Mrs. siya or Miss, so you should write Miss. Kung sure ka nga minyo siya, Mrs. The Reverend Honorable Mr. Jose Tordesillas, President, Superintendent, so Mr. Roberto de los Santos, Chief. So these are the types of the letter full black style. So we can see here nga full black siya kay full ano tanan ang imong very truly yours black siya. Modified black when your date is in here, your inside address is here, your salutation is here. So you have to be careful. Sometimes, ang uban mag-write og letter, dili colon ang ibutang. They should colon or comma ibutang. Dili kay semicolon, dot og comma. No. You have to be careful. You are business Bachelor of Business in Office Administration. Simple things. So, dili kabaw. So, you have to be Next, with this one is the semi-black. Why semi-black style? This is the date, the inside address, the salutation, then na indention, and then and very truly yours na adiri dapita. Okay? Next, salutation. The greetings of the letter that provides courteous open. Most formal is sir or madam, colon. Formal, my dear sir, my dear madam. Less formal, dear sir, dear madam. Friendly, dear Pete. Kung friendly mo na siya, friendly letter, dear Pete lang. Kung intimate, dear Perla. Okay, nga na daw then, comma. Kung intimate, imong asawa ba or sa imuhang bana. Body of the letter, it embodies the text of the message, usually the longest part of the letter. So in writing an application letter, you should be direct to the point. Na uban magama og application letter, taas kaayo. You have to remember that your employer don't have ample time to read your maala-ala mo kaya nga application letter. Ilan ang ibutang sa basurahan kung taas kaayo. You have to be direct to your point. Then anyway, sa imong curriculum vitae, na naman dito nakasulat ang imong mga in situ, mga something like that. So, sa imong body of the letter, there's no need to put it there. Kana na sa imong curriculum vitae. Your applications should be direct to the point ang imong intention to apply a certain position. Then the complementary clause, the farewell part of the letter, which signals the ending of the message. So, very truly yours, very sincerely yours. So, nayuban i-capitalize ang T. Dili na siya i-capitalize. Ang V, right, i-capitalize. Then, very sincerely yours. Very respectfully yours. So, I've noticed po sa inyong curriculum vitae, kung maggama mo curriculum vitae, you should provide 2 numbers. So, inyong i-provide na is 2 numbers. Kana pong numbers nga, mugana. Kay uban mohatag og number nga dili makontak or wala na gamit. So dili mo ma-hire kay di man mo ma-reach. Okay? Subject line. It states the topic that is further spelled out in the body of the letter. Have you noticed na res sa some of the letter? It is used to follow up or reiteration of previous memorandum, but subject is generally preferred. So, in a memo, you would say, or in a letter, nagibutang subject, meaning mo na siya ang subject, submission of monthly report. Then we have attention line, na ibang letter nga nagibutang attention. This part of the letter follows the inside address. So, na inside address, na inibutang attention. So, the name mentioned immediately after the attention line is the final receiver of the letter. So, for example, na iban mag-write nga Dr. Proceso M. Castile, EDD, muna siya ang iyahang addressee, but naigibutang dito attention, Ma'am Tadena or Arlinda N. Ramasola, Dean Sitas, meaning ang iyahang recipient or ang imong padadaan-ana is si Dr. Ramasola. Why ang imong addressee is si Dr. Castilman? So, in a protocol, you have to inform the head of that certain institution that you are writing a letter to his subordinate. So, the letter is only coursed through the person mentioned in the inside address. A letter using an attention line comes from other organization or outside party not connected with the office of the addressee. So, magamit ra kag attention kung ang imong gipadad-an is not from that organization. For example, si Dr. For example, ang CHED mo padaog letter ni Dr. Porbar since dili man siya connected, wala sila sa isa ka place ni Dr. Casil, ibutang sa CHED nga attention sa mga campus directors. So here we have Mr. Mike nasayop siya, indent na siya, manager, silangan, muna siya subordinate, superior, attention, Miss Susan C. Perez, kay sa marketing division man siya. Next we have reference initial. Reference initial is an acronym, initial or code of any of the writer, dictator, or encoder of the letter. These severally take administrative responsibility as regards the veracity and the content of the letter. This is usually indicated below the signature block of very truly yours, honorable, Rab, mo na siya ang iyang reference initial. Next, we have copy furnished notation. Copy na siya. This shows that a copy of the letter is being sent to another person other than the addressee. So, in most instances, a person is furnished a copy of a letter for reference and information. Formerly, this part was called a carbon copy notation, CC. So, have you noticed in an email na siya CC, meaning it's a carbon copy notation. So, na CF means copy furnace, file. So, na-copy ang budget officer and as chief. So, enclosure, same na siya. Same correct na siya. This part, if any, serves as a reminder to the receiver that an additional materials is in the envelope. This also be include attachments. So, if you would send something, then you attach something, you would say attach or enclose. Nga na siya. Next is postscript or PS notation. This part of the letter must be indicated to re-emphasize an important message and not to call attention to some information the writer has forgotten to state in the body of the letter, like very truly yours, Dan A. Santiago, Marketing Manager. Kung nakalimot ka. So, PS, avail 25% discount on wholesale all items. Through line, so na uban, i-ani lang, na po uban, i-indent siya. So, unsa man yun yung through line? This part appears in the letter if the sender is a subordinate who writes to a person higher in position than his immediate supervisor. It is a protocol that the communication should pass through channels. These channels represent the hierarchy of a system. The persons who should have knowledge regarding the content of any letter in the higher levels of our own organization. For example, the president through chief accountant. Madam, note this madam refers to the president, not the chief, because of the president is the addressee of the. So we have addressee, salutation, and complementary clauses. We have civilian, we have the president. So, yan na siya. Next, we have salutation, dear President Bautista, dear Mr. Bautista. Kung civilian persons, we have the Customer Relations Office, Mark Company. Then ang imong salutation is gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen. Next, we have civilian person with attached professional title like Dr. Joanne Q. Rodriguez. So, yung nga na ang imuha. So, ang imong salutation should be Madam or Dear Dr. Rodriguez. We have religion officials like Brother Arnel A. Ang. Ang imong salutation is Dear Brother. Or another example is Reverend. So, Dear government officials like His Excellency Rodrigo Roa Duterte. So, Dear President or Dear President Marcos. Kung Senator Honorable Grace Po, you would say, Dear Senator Po. Sample Governor of a province, Honorable Edgar Chato. So, salutation is Sir or Dear Governor Chato. So, be careful. Thank you and God bless.